Bradley Tusk, The Fixer, My Adventures Saving Startups from Death by Politics. Immerse yourself in the world of political strategy and the startup ecosystem with our summary of The Fixer, My Adventures Saving Startups from Death by Politics by Bradley Tusk. Discover how Tusk, a seasoned political strategist, has helped save numerous startups, like Uber and Lemonade, from potential destruction by creatively and persistently navigating through the complex political landscape. Learn the art of molding media narratives and driving public sentiment to get what you want from politicians, and protect your budding business from death by politics.
The power of media in politics. Learn how good publicity can make or break political careers through Tusk's experience as a media strategist for New York politicians. Politics is a game of two things: constant attention and constant validation. And in the world of politics, there's no better way to achieve both than through good publicity. This is a lesson Bradley Tusk learned while working in politics, starting as a media strategist for a New York City Council member and later working as communications director for a Democratic senator for New York. Tusk's job was to make sure that his bosses got constant media coverage. He knew that outside of election periods, politicians need to remain relevant to stay in the public eye. Tusk's talent for making uninteresting topics seem exciting was especially useful when he staged a funeral for murdered trees or invited the media to the ceremonial cutting of a toilet roll opening a new public bathroom. The coverage his antics created ensured politicians like Henry Stern remained in the public eye, keeping them relevant and ultimately helping them secure budgets and policies. Later, Tusk worked for Chuck Schumer, a Democratic senator in New York, where he learned the importance of keeping voters informed on what politicians do all day. Despite Schumer being a junior senator back then with minor responsibilities, Tusk and his team invented news stories, like writing a tough letter of protest to Ford Motor Company and releasing a proposal for the modernization of the old-fashioned, unreliable voting machines used in elections. This creativity ensured that Schumer was seen as an expert in the media, which later added to his relevance when the 2000 U.S. presidential election ended in controversy. In summary, Tusk gained valuable lessons about the power of media in the world of politics. By understanding how to mold the media narrative, politicians could remain relevant and achieve their goals through constant media exposure. Tusk's take on winning political campaigns. In the book, the author discusses how political campaign manager Bradley Tusk managed to turn around Michael Bloomberg's mayoral bid using innovative tactics. Tusk aimed at taking down leading Democratic contender, Anthony Weiner, by making him feel the risk of running was too great. Tusk's strategy involved using negative tactics on Weiner's weak points, including a scandal around donations from models and Bloomberg volunteers canvassing Weiner's family's neighborhood. This highly targeted approach intimidated Weiner, leading to him deciding not to run and securing Bloomberg's win in a third term. Tusk's effective campaign techniques were instrumental in his political strategy consultancy's establishment and transformed how political campaigns have run since. Uber's strategic move. Uber's strategic move to shift public narrative and win over politicians through popular opinion is highlighted in this book summary. Despite strong opposition from unions, taxi industries, regulators, and politicians, Uber was able to turn the tables with the help of Tusk. By crafting a press release and encouraging drivers and customers to voice out their opinions, Uber was able to generate 40,000 tweets and 50,000 emails to city politicians in a matter of days. The ability to generate negative media proved to be more powerful than the influence of the taxi industry donors, leading to the abandonment of the legislation banning Uber and the unanimous approval of new legislation authorizing them. Uber's journey showcases the power of strategic communication in shaping public opinion and influencing political decisions. Uber's fight against New York's mayor. Uber's growth in New York was threatened by Mayor Bill de Blasio's proposed legislation, limiting the ride-hailing service to a 1% annual growth rate. Uber strategist Bradley Tusk devised a three-pronged approach to gain support against the bill. First, He showcased how Uber was essential to people of color and low-income riders by running advertisements featuring the two demographics. Secondly, he exposed the corruption surrounding the legislation, pointing out how taxi drivers were de Blasio's second-largest donors and how the legislation was written by the taxi industry. Lastly, Tusk mobilized Uber's users, adding a de Blasio button on the app to inform users about the problem and encouraging them to email and tweet their council members. After a couple of weeks of pressure, the city council members dropped the support, leading to the abandonment of the bill and Uber's future in New York being secured. Benefits for independent contractors. Handy, a platform that connects customers with independent contractors like handymen and cleaners, aims to provide benefits like pensions and healthcare to its workers. However, the startup faces opposition from unions and Democratic politicians who want to maintain the vague labor laws that give them influence. Unions are against independent contractors since they can't organize them or charge them membership dues. Handy's proposal to set up a benefits fund that other sharing economy platforms can contribute to has been met with resistance from unions like SEIU 32BJ. The union regards cleaning as their jurisdiction and wouldn't give in. Their president also has political reasons not to modify New York's labor laws that could make life easier for non-unionized independent contractors. Even the state governor, Democrat Andrew Cuomo, was hesitant to support Handy's proposal without the union's approval. Though Handy didn't win its fight in New York, it continues to battle at state and federal levels to secure new laws. The high-stakes battle for daily fantasy sports. The daily fantasy sports industry was blindsided by a political risk it didn't anticipate. Companies like FanDuel and DraftKings grew rapidly but didn't consider the opponents they shared, including casinos and anti-gaming advocates. When a scandal broke out, the legality of daily fantasy sports became uncertain in many states. The battle turned into a lobbying match, and FanDuel fought back with customer advocacy. Eventually, legislation secured daily fantasy sports in 15 states, but the companies should have been better prepared. Revolutionizing insurance, the Lemonade story. Lemonade, a digital insurance company disrupting the industry, faced a roadblock in obtaining an insurance license from the inflexible New York Department of Financial Services. To tackle this, they devised a political strategy, rallying the media, lobbyists, and venture capitalists to persuade the state governor to overrule the regulator. Ultimately, their efforts were successful, and Lemonade emerged victorious, providing an innovative model for customer-friendly insurance. Lemonade is a digital insurance company that promised easy sign-up, low prices, and a typical payout time of 3 seconds. Their unique model was based on customers paying into a pool, from which Lemonade drew its costs and profits, and any claims were paid out. Instead of keeping any leftover funds as profit, Lemonade paid it back to the customers, a feature that was absent in traditional insurance. However, their revolutionizing model had a significant roadblock in the form of the New York Department of Financial Services. Lacking the flexibility to adapt to innovative models, the DFS refused to grant an insurance license to Lemonade. To tackle this issue, Tusk, Lemonade's CEO, and his team decided to devise a political strategy. They started by spreading the story that New York was under the influence of its entrenched business interests, causing Lemonade to relocate to London. His team also collected lists of political donations from the insurance industry to Cuomo, enabling Lemonade to pitch stories about pay-to-play decision-making. In addition, Tusk's team prepared a letter from a group of venture capitalists saying that if New York couldn't license an innovator like Lemonade, what was the point of investing in the city's tech sector? Eventually, their efforts paid off, and Lemonade was granted an insurance license. What distinguished Lemonade from traditional insurance companies was its innovative model and its successful application of smart political strategy. By rallying the media, lobbyists, and venture capitalists, they created a compelling narrative that the state governor bought into. Through their efforts, Lemonade emerged victorious, providing an innovative model for customer-friendly insurance. The innovative campaign that never was. Michael Bloomberg, a potential candidate for the 2016 presidential election, was faced with the challenge of running as an independent with no party infrastructure on which to rely. Campaign manager, Bradley Tusk, proposed innovative strategies to differentiate Bloomberg from Clinton and Trump, including paying for a ride for every U.S. voter and recruiting top talent for the government. However, Bloomberg decided against running to avoid harming Hillary Clinton's chances and risking Trump's presidency. Despite never materializing, Tusk regretted the missed opportunity of an innovative Bloomberg presidency that could have offered a safer and better America. Political savviness for startups. Traditional businesses tend to have a political advantage that they use to stop startups from disrupting their markets. To fight back, startups need to be politically savvy and use all available tools. Startups should determine whether their product/service complies with regulations and decide whether to request permission before launching. If permission is not requested, it is essential to operate from a position of strength and beg for forgiveness. Startups should determine their politically valuable assets like jobs and headquarters, and use them to build alliances like consumer rights advocates or VC investors to convince decision-makers. Politicians that could impact their business could be recruited to their cause if their interests align. Understanding the politics that impact a business and shaping the narrative to keep politicians on their side could prove to be a valuable investment.
In a world where traditional businesses and entrenched interests hold political power, startups need a creative arsenal to challenge the status quo and thrive. Tusk's experiences in shaping media narratives, engaging consumers to fight for their rights, and leveraging the political landscape to help startups like Uber, Lemonade, and FanDuel demonstrate the importance of political savviness in today's business world. The Fixer not only offers valuable lessons for startups looking to navigate the political battlefield but serves as an inspiration to raise one's voice and push for innovation in an ever-evolving world.